What's up, everybody? It is I, Sigma, and we are back with episode 24 of the BBET GamesCast. I'm joined by Superman Jeff.
What's going on?
As well as Blue Bones.
It's your boy. What's going on, fams?
And, as we always do, we're going to start off with what we've been playing. Blue, Jeff, anybody want to take the reins on this one?
I got it. I got it.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
All right, so it was really nice yesterday. We had some time to play some Monster Hunter World together.
True.
I don't think people realize that our gaming schedules don't really sync up, especially like all three of us. But it's really nice when we can, and we're always talking about the games that we're doing. But so yeah, that was really fun. But I've been playing Tembo the Badass Elephant.
You talked
it's
about
on
this.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's Elephant Rambo. It's a platformer, and like that's the premise. You know, there's some robots attacking, and they call in this elephant that was in retirement from Spec Ops. like he's on a jungle. He's in the jungle and everything. He's like, hey, we need
So he
you.
wasn't. Wait, he was in the jungle in retirement, or
Yeah.
Okay.
He retired to the jungle. They called him up. He had a special phone. He has this little bird with him that doesn't really fight. It's just his dude.
Because elephants.
Yeah, the elephants always got birds. It was really sad. He said like bye to his little girlfriend and stuff like that. They picked him up in a helicopter. He had the red bandana. He's got all the face paint. But yeah, and he just goes through and charges.
Is this like an anthropomorphic elephant? Like he stands on two legs or whatever?
No. He charges forward. He spits water from his trunk, and he jumps up and just slams down on people. It's actually really well animated.
Wow.
For such a crazy premise, and it looks great. And it feels fun. It's a platformer kind of deal where you just it almost feels like a little bit like Sonic. And when I was original Sonic, where you're kind of running through and you're more watching than you are playing sometimes.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about Sonic.
Yeah. So you definitely got those vibes. And so I did a little bit of research. Guess who published it? Sega of America. And it was developed by Game Freak, which is crazy.
The Pokemon people, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't seen their symbol on anything besides Pokemon.
Yeah, they actually just this year released their first non-Pokemon RPG in a while called Little Town Hero.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Game Freak. But yeah, they don't really develop much else.
So it was cool to see that it was them. So yeah, Tembo the Badass Elephant is free on Game Pass right now, or it comes with your Game Pass right now, and it's something I like to play when I don't have a whole bunch of time to link up with folks, and it's fun. I'm always like when it comes to those kind of games, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I have to get all the big coins or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Keep going back until you complete everything.
Yep. And with this one, the coins are survivors, so you're running through cities and stuff like that, and you have to go pick them up. And it's funny because they stay on your back throughout the rest of the level. They never come off or anything like that, but it's just funny seeing him do all the actions.
Yeah, that's real
when he
funny.
does his like little jump, they just stuck on the back.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever he's jumping, they're like, whoa.
No casualties.
Zero casualties. He's that dude. Like, yeah, the world needs him, and he answered the call.
So I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this. So can he like talk?
He doesn't talk. Just
so he's an actual elephant.
He's an actual elephant. He's a badass elephant.
A badass elephant.
That
like all the
dope.
information you need, they gave you in the title. Yeah,
That's all
bad
you need.
explosions. He like trucks through tanks and stuff like that. He's great.
Wow.
Also,
I may just need to see this game in action.
yeah, man. I'll probably stream it this week. But I also, this not really game related, but this is kind of this week related. I got a haircut, and it's significantly different. I've been wearing a hoodie all morning.
I noticed. You got a hoodie on.
With a big reveal.
It's a big reveal.
Oh man, looking like somebody's Uncle Phil.
Whoa!
It's like, nah.
You got a super loader you normally get.
Yeah, that's way lower.
I'm trying to, you gotta treat your hair right, and my hair at the ends were kinds of crazy, and I hadn't found a good barber until yesterday, who had decent prices too. So that's a whole other hair journey for me. I wanted to share with y'all. Hair is important to us. It really is. So anyway, that's me. That's what I've been playing, and that's what I've been doing this week. What y'all got?
Do you wanna go next, Jeff?
Oh, you can go next.
Well, I haven't played anything like new. Like Blue said, we hopped on Monster Hunter World. And I actually put a lot of hours into Monster Hunter World this past week, and I've come to the conclusion
in general too.
Yeah, because I just noticed that the thing's at like 364
How
hours.
many hours?
Of game time. But I've legit come to the conclusion that Monster Hunter World might be one of my favorite games ever. Like, period.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
What made you take to this as opposed to some of the other? Because you played what the other one we played on.
Yeah,
3DS.
we played
was
one
it
of them
the
on 3DS.
That I was on.
I can't remember.
I
think it's a combination of two things. The handheld controller is not good for what you need to do in that game. Specifically, the camera movement. Like, it's super clunky because I didn't have the new 3DS that had the little extra thumbstick that kind of solved that problem. I had the 3DS XL, and to move the camera, you either had to continuously like focus to the front of you, or I think it worked like kind of like Mario 64 did, where like it would like turn 90 degrees or something if you press the button. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But either way, it was cumbersome, and like the monsters move all over you and stuff, and it's hard to keep track, and it makes it kind of less fun because you're fighting the camera more so than you are fighting the monster. And then the way the world is kind of sectioned off in those other games, like it has to basically have to load between areas. It's not like a one big continuous fight. Like that also kind of took me out of it. But Monster Hunter World addresses that, one, by just having it be like big open worlds, and then two, you have an actual controller in your hand, which is by far a better way to play games.
Yeah, I get that.
I've definitely enjoyed this game a lot more than I expected to. When I first picked it up, I was like, okay, it's a popular thing. I've been wanting to do Monster Hunter for a while, and then I didn't expect to be playing it years later.
Right, and the thing is, the thing that endears me to it so much, like after those initial hurdles, is just how deep it is. Because on the surface, like you can play the game, you can put on new gear that you get from monsters you kill, and then go back and hunt new monsters to get new gear, right? Like that's the basic loop, and that's fun in and of itself. But if you want to maximize your hunt, you want to maximize what you're doing, you can go deep. Crazy part. You can go deep. Like we were still just yesterday, right? We figured out a mechanic that none of us knew was in the game, probably from like the beginning. That you can literally just give other players items, and honestly, that shouldn't be that convoluted. Like that's kind of a Japanese-ish thing to kind of just make certain things way more convoluted than they need to be. But I don't know, like the fact that you can harvest materials, like, and there's a specific way to harvest materials to maximize what you get back, so that you can always have a steady supply of the stuff you need when you go on hunts.
Because you was running dry yesterday.
Yeah, I was, because I've been neglecting my botanical garden.
Yeah.
The way you can go deep in the food menus, like you can eat the custom meals. Because first of all, eating in general is a basic mechanic that you need to just do. You can ignore it entirely and just be very bad at the game. Yeah. But they kind of set it up where you just go, you eat food. But you can go deeper. You can basically pick every single food item, look at the ones that are fresh, put them in the grid, and then make meals that give you specific bonuses that you can then use for the specific build that you're taking out into the field. Which I just learned, since I'm an archer-heavy character, there are two skills that benefit me most anytime I'm going out, and it's called Feline Black Belt, which just lowers the stamina cost of everything I do. Yeah. And then the sharpshooter mechanic that just makes regular arrow shots and normal shots like much stronger than they already are. Like,
what's crazy about that, to add on to the complexity of the meals, is that you can actually go out and get fresh ingredients if you need it. You know what I'm saying? You go and hunt all the small monsters. You can
those optional quests unlock more ingredients for you to use in the canteen.
And to get you
gotta re-up on those ingredients too. They don't just stay.
Oh yeah.
You can't just continuously make the same meal without getting more of the ingredients you need for them.
Especially if you want them fresh.
Right, exactly.
Fresh!
And then with the Iceborne stuff, they layered on additional like combat mechanics. Every single weapon in that game is like its own game. Like you could do like a 8 to 12 hour campaign of a character that just uses, say, the great sword, and like you'd have a full game. Like if you told a story with a great sword using character and he like killed a bunch of cool monsters, like essentially you'd have like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's like how many weapons? Like 14, I think.
Yeah. Like I'm playing an anime game. I play the Insect Glaive, right? And I'm jumping all over the place. I'm stabbing people.
Yeah, he's getting all in your way and whatnot.
But the cool thing is, right? And that's the cool thing, right? You guys use typically Jeff uses the great sword. We got Indigo Sky who uses the hammer. And when I'm too close to them, they'll pop me up in the air. But my character can use that.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Cool. I do like that.
Like I've used this so many times where like I'm attacking the monster's head on the floor. They pop me up in the air, and I'm like, okay, I'll just use this and dive down onto the monster and get some extra damage. Like, but with other characters, it messes up their combo. So it's really dynamic in how you want to compose your team. You know, like I'm not. It's just like you said. It's a different game every weapon you use.
And like with Iceborne, most games have kind of gotten into the habit of including some kind of a camera mode, so you can just take in-game photos and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. With Iceborne, they added a camera mode, but they also gamified it. Like there are missions in the game that let you basically find like certain scenes, and then you take pictures, and then you come back and get rewards. So you've essentially have a whole entire quest line where you're a nature photographer.
It's Pokemon Snap.
Yes, it really is. And it's like you have to do certain because they want you to catch monsters doing certain things. Like for certain monsters, you have to hide from them so that they don't get aggravated. Like if you wanted to play this game in an entirely different way, like they give you the tools to do so. And like I find that to be really, really cool. Like it combines so much, and the mechanics are solid, the presentation is solid, the music I feel like doesn't get enough love in that game. Like when monsters show up and interrupt fights, they have theme songs that play, so you know like this is that monster's music cue.
Yeah.
Like
Uncle Joe was notorious.
Yeah, that stuff is cool. Like it's so dope. Like you could tell how long they've been doing this, like how good they are at kind of just making that entire world feel real. And Monster Hunter World allowed me to finally get into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think something it does very well is it had the base game, but the game was always evolving. You know, a lot of games they'll just put a game out and put DLC to it or whatever to add small things to the game. But the overall gameplay was always evolving. So the world was always getting better and better and better and better. And with the whole big release of Iceborne, which was one of their big releases, was a complete overhaul to the weapons. You know, as far as the shots go, the being able to mount enemies and turn them and run them into walls, like it made the game that much better. And I think it does a great job of showing what DLC is supposed to bring to an already existing game.
Not just DLC, but just regular game updates anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They did pretty consistent.
Because you didn't have to buy Iceborne to get the claw.
Yeah, you didn't. Like all the new content and stuff, but that claw by itself really just changes a lot of the hunts
whole
in
game.
general. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been kind of just swooning over Monster Hunter World for the past couple of weeks. But other than that, I've been playing more Outer Wilds.
How are you liking that?
That game is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still not finished, but it's like the mystery that you're uncovering. Like it's like you'll go to these planets, and like each planet kind of has its own deal, and you learn like the more time you spend there, you see kind of what happens to that planet over the course of the time you have from when you wake up and then when the sun explodes. Because I went over this last time I talked about it. It's essentially a loop you're stuck in, and I believe like 20-25 minutes or so until the sun in the middle of the solar system that you're free to explore explodes, and then you basically have to start over. But you learn how to use your time wisely as you're like exploring and stuff. But then as time goes on, all these planets are rotating and stuff. They're affecting one another. Like there's actual gravitational pull on this thing and that thing. And the way a planet usually starts off as at the beginning is not how it ends by the time the sun is ready to explode. So there are different things you can find if you're there at certain times. And like the deeper you go, the more I'm learning about, oh, so this is happening here because that's happening there. And it blows your mind. Like multiple times I'm sitting there like, oh, that's what's going on here. And like, word, like it's that feeling. And that's a really gratifying feeling to get in a game. Most games give you that like one time. And Outer Wilds is doing it like constantly, like almost every single time you put in like a full session's worth of time in just exploring just one single world, you learn so much about what else is happening, and it makes you want to go out and learn more about the other thing you just found out.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying that still. I haven't had the time, or rather, Monster Hunter World has been pulling me away from it because I wanted to play that, but I feel like I'm closing in on the end, and I can't wait to just get the final picture.
Yeah.
Of that story.
True.
But go ahead.
I have a confession. When you started talking about Outer Wilds, I definitely thought you had picked up Outer Worlds, and you was just raving about it. I was like, "Oh, cool! You got onto it, And you talk about different planets and the sun exploding. I was like, "Hold on, man, that's a crazy spoiler." And that's also not what happened.
People have been doing that ever since both those games were announced. Outer Worlds is the Obsidian RPG. Outer Wilds is a much more indie game. But they're both on Xbox Game Pass, which is also part of the confusion. And they both came out this year.
But okay, cool, yeah, man. I still got to try that game out. Gotta try it.
Yeah, try it. Let me know what you think.
And the last thing I've been playing is it's essentially a game or games, but I got into the Project xCloud beta testing period.
Hey, that's right, bro.
So if you don't know what that is, think Google Stadia, the streaming service coming from Google. Microsoft has been talking about doing the same thing for some time now as well. So xCloud is their answer to Stadia stuff, where you can take your game library, access it from wherever, like a phone, a tablet, computer, and just link a controller and play your games.
That's why you asked me yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, do you see me online on Halo 5? Because there's only 4 games they let you test. There's Halo 5, there's Sea of Thieves, there's... Right, I didn't even touch it. There's Killer Instinct, and then there's Gears 5.
Ugh.
I did see you playing Killer Instinct. I'm like, wait, that's a weird choice for him. Let me start playing Killer Instinct.
So... It's funny that the games they put on there were all like multiplayer heavy. Yeah. Because that's the main concern with playing a game over a streaming service is the lag in terms of button inputs and whether you'll be viable or not.
How did it feel?
Killer Instinct, I am not a great 2D fighter. So I was playing against the computer and the computer was relentless. I don't think I got even a hit in. And they were just doing ultra combos on me left and right. So I couldn't tell in that game if it was the button inputs or just I suck.
The game. Or just your life choice.
Killer Instinct has funky input times too. So it might have been just the game.
Yeah, and looking back on it now, Killer Instinct did not age well. That was like a launch game for Xbox One. That game looks ugly.
Garbage. It's like when they said throwback, they mean like, update it first, bro.
Yeah, that game does not look good at all. But I played the one match of that and then cut that off. So I went to Halo 5, something I'm much more comfortable on. And honestly, I did feel maybe like something felt like maybe slight sluggishness in terms of responsiveness and running around and shooting and stuff. But we still won that match. Like, I was getting kills. Like, I feel like it works. Like there was no hitches in terms of the actual stream. The game looked fantastic on my phone. Like I just got a Pixel 3 XL. And I mean, even though it's an XL, like it's a 5.6 inch screen, I think you don't want to play a 1080p game on a screen that small. Like you can't read any text. Like they'll probably need to figure something out in terms of like maybe doing a streaming mode for like games that are using it so that all the text shows up bigger. But other than that, like it functioned fine. It's just probably not what you want to do if you play multiplayer games on a competitive level.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right? Like if it was like a single player, like I didn't get the chance to like just try like maybe going through Gears' campaign, but something like that probably will feel better, or like an Assassin's Creed, or the Division.
Remember that function with the Division where they were gonna have that drone that you could play from your phone?
Right? Yeah, that second screen experience thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That never actually came out.
No, it never came out. They just forgot about
it. But yeah, so it does work. So if you're desperate to play some of your games, when this thing launches, I think it'll actually be a really cool, viable thing. I want to do more testing. I want to try it on like phone data because that's an option.
Yeah.
I was using my house Wi-Fi, which is pretty good in here. So I want to like kind of go out and about and then see how much more of a problem it actually is to like be on like say a McDonald's Wi-Fi connection or
Lord,
or just a regular T-Mobile tower.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm hating it.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week. Jeff, how about you?
I didn't really get to play much. It's a long week for me, but when I did finally get some chance, I think the first thing I popped on was Smash. I started playing as Terry Bogard.
Right, it just came out
this week.
Or like Sigma likes to call him, Terry Bradshaw.
Right. You see how this man just distorts the truth? That's the literal name he called him when he was talking to me.
But I when the new characters come out, I can pop on, play with them a little bit, see what's going on with them, see how they feel, see if I'm gonna like them. So that way I know if I'm gonna play with them in matches or not. Because usually some characters, like Joker, I played as a little bit. But he just didn't fit my playstyle, so I just never picked it back up again. Mm-hmm. Banjo, I wanted to like, but just didn't work for me. Piranha Plant wasn't my speed. I play as Hero, and then I think I'm going to play as Terry. I was playing as Ken, and he feels close to Ken.
Yeah, they're
without
2D fighter types.
With a little bit more oomph in him. So he felt really good. He played really, really, really good. His new mechanic with the... his supers, like over 100% damage, you do like 2 variations to it, or like these super moves where they do like one's like a slam on the ground, like from his Nat B, but this one like spikes up like a huge spike.
It's a really big.
Yeah,
like,
the other one's
kind of like Palutena's Beam of Light almost.
Yep, her up smash.
Yeah. So it covers a lot of ground. So like. For characters that jump, it's a great ability to use against them because it covers so much ground and height. So it's a great move. I'm trying to think, was there anything else about him?
Well, the thing with his super special moves, right, is like you have to do the actual like
SNK
inputs,
from the,
right?
Yeah, you have to do the inputs from the original games.
Oh, that's how that works. Because I was playing him and I was like, "Yo, this dude's lame as heck." And so I had to go on YouTube, and I'm just like, "How are they even getting this to work?" But okay, that makes sense.
Even his original specials, they're more powerful when you do the inputs.
Yeah, that's a carryover from Ken and Ryu because it's the same thing with them. If you do their actual move inputs, they have stronger versions.
So it works out.
I'm learning things today.
See, boom. See, that's why we're here. It's not only time to talk about interests, but it's time to educate. Education's good. So he plays pretty good. I'm interested to try him out today and see how he does. The only negative for me is with the always facing the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that.
You might be trying to do the forward B, but because he has a forward B and a back B, you'll mistakenly do the back B in the wrong direction.
Ooh.
Right. So that's a new thing too. Like there's no other character that has 2 side specials. Like he has a forward side special and a back side special.
So you just got to get used to that. But overall, I think he's a really good character. So I'm interested to try him out today and see how he does.
Did you realize that a lot of people didn't know who Terry Bogard was? Like when he got it,
surprising.
Yeah, like he got announced for Smash, and people were like, "Who's Terry Bogard?"
Yeah,
that
really surprised me.
Fatal Fury, he was in SNK versus all
the King of Fighter games.
Yeah, and then SNK versus Street Fighter, all those.
Those games
he's like the main
popular.
SNK character. He's SNK's Ryu essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ryu is so much bigger that
Street Fighter.
Nobody knows who Terry is.
Yeah. The whole King of Fighter series was very, very, very underappreciated when it came out. Like I think it was big when it came out, and then but going head to head with Street Fighter over the years, a lot of people don't know what SNK is. Same thing with Samurai Showdown now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I think the thing
that
with
whole
SNK
Neo
is
Geo, what was it? Neo Geo?
Yeah, the handheld one, right?
Yeah.
I think it was because it was the arcade scene. Like SNK was super big in that era, and then like once arcades kind of died out, SNK's popularity waned as well.
Because I don't remember playing too much of it on Super Nintendo and Sega. I don't remember much.
I had the first Fatal Fury on Super Nintendo, and that game was actually broken.
I played Fatal Fury. It was really good though.
The game was fun, but it was broken. Like to do 2 players, only the second player was able to choose other characters than the 3 main characters.
What?
Oh, so the first player had to play.
Yeah, the first player had to play either Andy Bogard, Terry Bogard, or whoever the Muay Thai guy. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I remember him.
I think Joe Higashi.
Okay.
So what's funny is that's the thing that I remembered from my youth and was like, maybe we were just doing it wrong because we were dumb kids. But then saw like a Do You Know Gaming YouTube video on like SNK or Fatal Fury or something, and they basically confirmed that it was a screw up in terms of the port from the arcade. Like to save memory or something, they just put together this nonsense version.
That's ridiculous.
But no, that's all I've been playing.
That's what's up.
Okay.
So good stuff. We're gonna move off of what we've been playing. We're gonna go into our topics. First off is something kind of morbid.
Yeah.
So the Hollywood Reporter, basically reported a story saying that James Dean, the very popular 1950s actor who tragically died at 24 years old, is coming back. He's going to be cast in a 2020 Vietnam War movie using CGI to bring him back from the dead.
So it kind of makes you think, these conspiracy theorists that say like James Dean is alive, Tupac's alive, all the cats like, is this maybe like, these guys finally being able to come out in the public and,
what?
Now James Dean, okay, let's say these conspiracy theorists say James Dean is alive, right?
Do they? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, this is people saying that he's alive, Tupac, oh shoot, there's a couple others. Oh, Biggie. A lot of folks are saying these cats are alive, right? All right, I don't believe it myself, but maybe this is for them to say, yeah, he's alive. Now he's just able to go on set because they made up this whole thing about CGI.
But wouldn't he be like super old?
Right.
Nah, fam, CGI is amazing. Didn't you see?
No, I mean him. I mean, as far as he would go, even his voice wouldn't sound the same. Like that.
That's like they're gonna do what? They're gonna cobble together like a voice robot or something?
Yeah. So in the article they talk about a voice actor for the James Dean character.
That's absolutely.
So they're just gonna use his likeness.
Yeah, they're gonna use his likeness, and then they're gonna use a voice actor. So basically, they're gonna essentially virtually puppet this man's
rebuild him,
this dead man's body.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
And the thing is, like, they have the nerve to suggest that they couldn't find anybody else right for the role. That it had to be someone who died in the 1950s because
that's
that was
what
the perfect.
Kills me. There's so many artists that are talented, right?
That are alive.
They don't want to sign crazy, stupid deals that exploit them. Like, I feel like this is bad for the talent agency.
Very much so. And there was another quote in that article.
And it felt like Futurama.
There's the agent who represents the estate of James Dean, like his family and stuff.
Okay.
He said something along the lines of, "This is a great opportunity for our clients who are no longer with us."
Yeah,
to basically
a whole new opportunity for many of our clients who are no longer with us," said Mark Rosler, CEO of CMG Worldwide.
So essentially, they're saying like, "Oh, did you have a famous relative who died? Sell us their likeness so we can still pump money out for them by basically resurrecting, like parading their ghosts in front of the world."
That's scary, bro.
Like,
I'll let you know that the family did agree to this.
Of course they did. They had to. Yeah. But it's like it's money seeking. Like, what other purpose is there? I'm sure they still get residuals from whatever movies he was in that played for 1950. But I mean, who's still watching James Dean movies today? Probably not that many people. So that family is essentially just grasping at straws, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know who approached who, but the whole thing just seems despicable. Like, it's dumb. That's one thing. Like, it's just really dumb.
It's a little immoral.
Yeah, and
it's a cool project, but it's immoral to.
Well, the thing is, there's a place where this kind of thing can come in handy. Like in situations like, why am I blanking?
Somebody dies.
Yeah.
Carrie Washington.
Carrie. Oh my gosh.
The guy from Fast and Furious, Paul.
Oh,
Paul Walker.
Yeah. Right. They kind of did something similar where they used his younger brother and kind of digitally altered his face to kind of fill out some of the movie that he was already shooting. Right. Mm-hmm. And then they also did some digital stuff for, like you said, Princess Leia.
Yeah, I was gonna say Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher's character and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they were already in those projects, you know? Like,
true.
They met, untimely ends, and they had to find a way to kind of finish the project and stuff. So that's less creepy and morbid.
Yeah.
This is an entire...
So how do you feel about...
Go ahead.
What do you think you're gonna do with... do you feel the same way with Pops? Do you think they're gonna do the same thing? Well, it's a little different.
Right, because...
yeah, are they gonna do...
for Pops for the Boondocks, or do you think they're going to find another voice actor to play him?
If they're going to even continue this project, I definitely think they're going to find another voice actor.
Yeah.
But I think they might be looking at his son, because his son, he's done interviews and actually does an impression of his father.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like morally speaking, that's probably the best route to go.
Mm-hmm. Easily. Like, that should be the first and the best thought. Oh, he can't do it? His son. Boom. Done. Like,
right.
End of discussion.
Like a family member, like just like the Fast and Furious, like a family member who, wants to kind of complete the work that the deceased person was doing.
Of course.
Like, that makes the most sense to me. But this where you just build a whole project around...
And say no one else is better.
Yeah, it's such a dumb excuse. Like, clearly this is a gimmick movie. Like, they want to sell you on the idea of, we're going to put a dead guy in this movie, so come see that nonsense. And people will see it. People will be like, oh, I want to see what that looks like, to see this dead dude in this movie.
What happens when he wins an Oscar?
This was...
Is it going to be a hologram on the stage?
Spoilers for BoJack Horseman, but like a couple seasons back, this is a plot line.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he was doing that Seabiscuit movie.
Yeah,
and then they wanted to do because he was basically not doing well on set. They basically just used his likeness and did a whole CG version of him, and he won an award, or he got nominated for an award. Yeah, he wasn't even in the movie. So that's literally the future that they're predicting on BoJack Horseman is what's happening right now.
That's crazy.
I want to say that was like season 3 or 4. So
yeah, it's
back.
Yeah, you won't see it coming.
But I don't know. Like this seems very.
A lot of stars are speaking out against this too. I think notably was Chris Evans. He was
He
spoke out against him opposing the idea of using James Dean's likeness in this movie. Well, not likeness, using him in this movie. So
yeah,
because think about it. Stan Lee passed away. Stan Lee has been a part of every single Marvel movie. Like, so would you have the same effect if they just started using a CGI Stan Lee to pop up here and there? Like, it's kind of morbid.
It wouldn't give you the same impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like let's just like in my head, I'm literally thinking of them like using puppet strings on a dead body, like
on a corpse.
What's the difference? What is the difference?
Real talk. Like the animated versions of them where they're clearly cartoony, i.e., Wreck-It Ralph breaks the internet. That's cool, right? But at the same time, just let them rest in peace. That's the way I look at it. We all gotta move.
Yeah, move on. Especially especially the guy they chose to do this with, like James Dean from the 1950s. Like who's next? Audrey Hepburn. Like this whole old Hollywood was not that great. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, they're
like it's glamorized to troubling degrees, but It's not that great. I'm sorry. Martin Scorsese, for example, like amazing director, but the time moves forward.
You're done. For now.
Try to bring back all these ghosts. I find it utterly offensive. I'm sorry. Like the fact that it's even considered as a thing.
It really stops progress.
It's so dumb.
It also says that nobody was good enough to play this character but this dead person.
Insulting as hell.
So yeah.
They're really trying to cut costs, like for real.
Like we could use the whole cast of dead people. Boom.
Oh my gosh. That's
and it also doesn't make sense because you're getting a voice actor to essentially do the acting.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but the thing is, hold on now. Costs are gonna go way down if you don't have a physical actor, and this dude always shows up on time. He's always ready. You just hit like no, you're cutting down on costs like crazy. That's the main motivation, money.
But the cost on, I guess, human capital, but the animation cost, that's got to be through the roof, especially if they're not using a human, because how games do a lot of mocap.
Video references, right?
Yeah, like the green.
And you could just
in the green room.
Yeah, you just you probably do a lot of mocap too, but I really think it's gonna cost less to do it digitally with the resources that they already have than to actually bring in new artists and pay them accordingly.
But they are gonna have to pay James Dean's estate for doing nothing.
Because honestly, they can. I would. If I was a producer and this was like my project and I was trying to push this, and I'm telling the family, I would say, look, we're not going to pay y'all like I would a live talent, right? But because he's not accessible necessarily when it comes to helping with the creative movement of it or anything like that. But we'll pay you guys for his likeness and for him starting. I would definitely cut costs in half just for that.
But then there is a live talent involved. There is someone who's doing the mocap and doing the voice.
But you could pay them standard rates that you probably would have done anyway. But
then why wouldn't their rates go up? Then is what I'm saying. I guess because essentially they're the actor. They're just putting a mask on them. Like it's like you're putting a movie monster mask on somebody.
It's the same amount of work. They've been doing. Lots of these people do animated characters on a regular basis, and you don't pay them in lieu of an actual actor. You pay them for the work that they do.
Well, and God forbid, if this does become a normal practice, I do think something like that would probably have to change because it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it would definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem at all fair.
I'm not saying you'd upcharge, but later on, if this becomes successful, like you said, God forbid, they're gonna start saying, okay, now I'm a main talent animator. And that's going to be a whole nother position.
Right. Well, it's essentially what Andy Serkis does in most movies, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Oh, little side note, he's gonna be Alfred in the Batman movie.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he did get cast as Alfred, I heard. Andy Serkis. Good on him. But all right, we'll move off of this.
This is funky, man. I don't like it.
This is terrible. I hope this crashes and burns because it's really stupid.
Yeah, hopefully it just phased out. I don't think the movie's gonna do well anyway, so hopefully that'll be a good sign that maybe we just need to leave this alone.
Yeah, let's stop digging up bodies.
Especially if you don't want to get haunted,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
good point.
Certain people do that stuff, and then they get surprised when they get haunted, or the kids get eaten up by demons and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you doing this anyway. Like
you took it a whole nother step.
Well, speaking of demons and such, World of Warcraft, is back in the news. Long-running franchise. Apparently, they've been coming out with some newer expansions. They're trying to kind of bring the game back, kind of condense the long history into like a more manageable experience for new players. They've announced that they're going to be reducing all player levels in an upcoming expansion. So right now the cap is at 120.
And they're dropping it 70 levels.
Yeah, they're kind of squishing it down so that the max level is now 50. And so whoever's underneath that, I guess, they'll somehow just get a level that's equivalent or whatnot. They're kind of squishing it down. And it serves the purpose of, because how many expansions were there? Like over like 10 or something?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of expansions for World of Warcraft, and for people to level through all of them is what they're trying to avoid.
Right.
They're trying to say you don't have to go from the very base game all the way through all these expansions just to get to max level. They want you to get to max level in one expansion, and then you can still play through the story.
So enjoy the other ones.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've made like the main quest line essentially like 3 expansions or something, right?
What's that?
Like they made the main quest line like 3, like the base, like parts of the base game and like 2 of the 3 newer expansions or something.
Yeah, it's you have to choose one of them you want to level through, and then you can play the rest for story.
True. So on the surface, this sounds concerning, but when you actually dig into it, it seems like a good idea for the purposes of bringing new people into WoW. But
yes, for that purpose specifically.
But I'm not much of a WoW player. I know both of you guys, I think, have played some World of Warcraft, right?
I have played it. I also predict that it'll be coming to console, so just remember that.
I think you did say that sometime at some
point. You heard it here first. So it's probably going to come to the consoles, which would be awesome. I would actually give it, because when I played it back in the day, it was on a crappy laptop. It was dumbed down completely.
That's all you need.
And you still got a bunch of lag. So I was like, I was like, my main KC used to play DC Universe like when it first came out on PC.
On PC, right?
I had to dumb it like all the way down.
Yeah, lowest graphical settings.
Yeah. So when it came to console, I was all about that.
So you're saying if it comes to console, then you'd actually be jumping back on World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully there's like a game of the year type situation where they import all the DLC with that, because I'm not about buying like 13 DLCs.
Oh, you about to be about it.
That's one of the reasons why I haven't gone back to Destiny, because like I would like to go back, but I'm not trying to buy like the last 3-4 DLCs. So it's like, no.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So Blue, you actually have spent more time in WoW then?
Yeah, I've played plenty of MMOs, and what they're doing is different. It changes the game. It changes the level of involvement, in my opinion. I feel like you lose the anime buildup of your character. You know what I'm saying? And my main MMO right now is Final Fantasy 14. From the beginning, you get all these skills up to level 50 in the base game, right? And all these skills have to do with all the struggles you've been through and how your character develops and what they have access to. In the next expansion, you have more things that you have access to and your character can interact with, and that's where those skills come from. So it's the building and the grind is part of the story. They're knocking that whole thing out. And as a veteran MMO player, it kind of sucks.
Especially for the people who've already reached this plateau. You know what I mean? So now they got to go like, oh.
I think those people don't
all
care.
That grinding was for naught?
Well, there's still the max level. It's just the levels mean different things.
Well, does that mean it's going to take just as much experience to get to that level? Or is it
it's significantly shorter?
Yeah, it's a shortcut. I mean, and they used to do this in Destiny 2, where newer expansions would come out and they would give you like the spark of light, so that people who were trying to get into it because maybe they heard the new expansion was good could skip a lot of the grind to kind of get there.
That's true.
So it's kind of that what is it? Early adopter syndrome. But like the first people to do all the stuff, they kind of pave the way. They go through all the bugs. They kind of take the bumps, but then they have the satisfaction of having the full experience. And then the latecomers, they get shortcuts and stuff so that they can get to the end, but they don't know the history. Like they didn't know what it was like when Galahorn was overpowered.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't know the ins and outs of their character, and they haven't had time to develop them. One of the worst things I think that you can do, especially in an MMO, is give your player too many skills at the same time. Now, what they said in this article on Kotaku is that you're going to still be the same. You're going to be as powerful and have the same skill set at level 50 that you currently have at level 120. So effectively, your character doesn't change. Right. But what that means is instead of 120 levels of you get this skill and you get this perk and then you get this skill and you're getting one level where you get 5 or 6 skills and perks.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So like
and you have to learn how they go together. And then level 2, you're getting another 5 or 6. So all that stuff is condensed. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a good way. Grasping at straws, maybe a cash grab, because I don't feel like any player who goes through these levels 1 through 50 in this new setup are going to be long-term players. I don't feel like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Just like you said with Destiny, you know, when you got that Sparklight where you could just max level one character, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you really play with that character afterwards, right? And then how much of the ins and outs of the perks and how that character moves do you know after you've done that, right? You can sit down and read everything, right?
Yeah, if you're bent on getting into that world, then this is a faster way to do it, and then maybe you will stick with it because you wanted to from the beginning. But yeah, as like a brand new person, if it does feel overwhelming, yeah, you probably won't.
Or if it's too easy, you're just like, okay, bye, like I'm done with this.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like they're really cheapening the character of your character.
So I mean, what then, in you guys' opinion, would be a better way to kind of do this, to kind of tackle the fact that there are so many expansions? Some of them are several years old to the point where they essentially like they're not very good anymore. Like you wouldn't want your players
I do like what
to go
Destiny
through them.
does.
Which is,
like you said, I do like what Destiny does. They give you kind of a level boost. So if you're going to be new to the game, hey, like some of that beginning story, you can choose to go through it, or you can choose to skip it. Like, you know what I mean? I like having the option. Being, hey, do you want to skip this story and pop out at this level? Assassin's Creed does it, where if an expansion comes out, it's a little different though. If expansion comes out, you can choose to bump to that level, but then you can't go back and do the content that you missed.
You skipped over.
Oh.
Yes. Now, so that's one of the things that is The Witcher does it as well. Witcher kind of gives you a preset of gear if you want to start at this level, but then you can't go back and do the original content. So, but like Destiny does, it does give you a level boost. I don't think it puts you at max level, but it puts you at the max level before you start that DLC.
Right. Yeah.
So that way, the stuff you're doing, you're actually able
start
to
playing with
do
your
it.
Friends.
Yeah. So I think that's a good way to do it. I don't know about shrinking the level cap, but giving people a good bump to start at is great. Now they have something to aspire to. The level 50 thing, I don't know. I mean, lowering, like, I don't know if Destiny did it. They kind of restructured the light, but they changed it. I don't think they ever lowered it. It's always just been continuously going up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what any expansion. When you add an expansion, obviously you add a level cap. You add a higher level because now people have something that they need to aspire to. We're not going to do an expansion and they're not going to get experience for it. Now, what they could do is do something similar to what Diablo does, where you get Paragon levels after your full level.
But then that's a whole nother set of skills and perks that they're going to have to add in.
That's also just light,
just adds,
or like gear score in the Division.
Well, no, because
it adds to stats. It doesn't actually work to your overall level.
But that's
like
if
you're level
stats,
70.
though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the good thing about Paragon levels in Diablo is that it transfers over to all your other characters on that account. I do like that. So if you got a main, I like doing the Witch Doctor, right? My Witch Doctor was level. I'm not even gonna guess what level it was because it was so long ago. But let's say it was 100 levels over max, right? That doesn't mean that. All that means is that those 100 levels of perks that I get, I can transfer it onto a new character. So my new character, while starting at level 1, has extra stats from the get-go. So I do like that that Paragon system that Diablo's got. But coming back to trying to bring in new players, I feel like if you have a compelling story, right? People are gonna follow it, and then
very intimidating. You got to think about all the levels. That's like somebody saying they want to start One Piece, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, no,
how many episodes?
That's me
I'll
right
never
now.
catch up.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
That's a good point.
A
That's a very
comparison,
good
rather.
point. Yeah.
So, what Destiny 2 has done more recently with their DLC things is rather than make it so that they bump your level. What I think they've done is all of the separate DLCs are like bespoke, whereas there's a main campaign, and then that kind of gives you a certain level if after you complete that, and then you can do anything else. Like you don't have to go through it and say the order it was released, right? World of Warcraft, I think, could benefit from something similar.
Yeah, they can make it like what is it, instance-based enemies, where the enemies kind of sync to your level.
The scaling.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, if you choose to do that at that time, the drops you're going to get from that particular thing is going to be for your level.
Yeah, so
That's
like
somebing
you do the first thing, and then the second thing
Pandora's
will be
box.
within a certain cap, and then whatever the third thing that you pick, it doesn't matter where it is. If it's the third thing, then the enemies will be of a certain level, essentially.
Yeah. What were you saying about Pandora and her box?
I was. I feel like that's kind of opened up Pandora's box. You know, but just like I guess if you scale everything, then that also means that the top items in the game don't mean crap because you can get them at any level. You see what I'm saying?
But their stats would be dependent on the level at which you get them at.
Exactly, right. So let's say there's 10 DLCs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said you have to play through the first 3, and then you get to scale off of the rest of them, right? Let's say I chose the last expansion to be my 4th story that I go through.
Then that's your fault.
I understand. Well, this is the thing.
What do you mean by fault, though?
Well, hold on.
Well,
So, if I get this really cool looking weapon, even though the stats are low, it looks amazing, right? And somebody who went through everything else has that same cool looking weapon, but even though the stats are a lot greater. The fact is, aesthetically, y'all are no different. You look like an expert if you just jump to the end versus looking like a noob. Real talk.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
might look like one.
Well, yeah, you know, but the fact is that's a huge part of MMOs. Your character's appearance and how experienced they look and the rarity of the gear that you have. That's part of the MMO experience that they'd be throwing out if they did level scaling. Because then you could just get,
That's a good point.
Your old looking crap could be
the strongest stuff in the game because you just went and did it last,
game,
right? Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But I mean,
it's a rough move.
That makes sense, but then there's also transmogrification in some games. People usually love it, in which case you can make whatever look like anything else, and then...
True,
that is true,
but you also have to have the original item. So that means you had to... If I want this top-level greatsword that is very hard to get, it's a rare drop from a raid that you have to do with 24 people, right? I have to get that first to make anything look like that.
That makes sense. Hey, we can't solve the problem for them. There's a couple of things that could be done opposed to kind of, what they're already doing. Some people might enjoy it. Some people might not. But, we're here to offer different points of views for different people to kind of see the good and the bad with this particular decision.
Yeah, I feel like as an MMO enthusiast and loving that whole journey of building your character and living that life, I do not like this update for WoW, but I understand how it can be practical.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So, on the sentiment of practicality.
Oh, I love your transitions, by the way. I know you just be fishing for the last couple things we say, and they work.
This is hard to do.
Off of that. Just to piggyback off of that.
So China. This is big news, actually. China has banned their children from playing video games after 10 p.m. They've also put a cap on the amount that they can spend on microtransactions. So this is the government essentially policing children's video game habits.
All the boomer parents right now are just like, yes, we need to be like China.
and such a weird demographic to feel that sentiment because they hate China.
Yeah. But that sounds like something that they would want to do.
Right. So
the thing is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was there a particular series of events that led to them making this type of decision? Was there something that was there a cause and effect type situation, or something that's been going on, or?
Well, I
think they just noticed excessive spending.
Yeah.
On microtransactions, and seeing their education. I think they said that grades were dropping too, with the increase of late night video game playing, and. Yeah, there was nothing specific, but they also did say that this was a long time coming, and a lot of folks knew about this law. And I don't know. Apparently, right now, China's what's the word? Democratic process is being questioned. So I don't know exactly how that happens over there when it comes to legislation. But apparently, it was a long time coming.
That's how it
What's
happens.
that?
It comes from the top down. That's how it happens.
I'm just
But real quick, I just want to read some of the details of the stuff they've put in here.
Go for it. Yeah.
So it's a Kotaku story that I was reading from, but New York Times was actually reporting on this. Mm-hmm. Essentially, kids are everyone under the age of 18. That's what they're considering kids. They're going to be restricted from playing video games for longer than 90 minutes a day. So only an hour and a half max.
That's through the weekdays,
between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Oh, no. It says no longer than 90 minutes a day or between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. So
okay,
they're not allowed to play between those hours, 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. And if they're not within those hours, then they can only play 90 minutes for that day. And that's Monday through Friday, I think.
Yo, imagine like you come home and you ready to play some new game and you waiting for your friend to get online and they just wasting time. Like, oh, sorry, I had to go eat. Like, fam, that's 20 minutes out of my 90.
Like, it's going to be 10 o'clock. They're going to shut it down. Like, here's the thing. I didn't read the full article. How do they actually police this?
So, I'm guessing through their internet. Well, no, that's a good question. What if they're not offline?
Well, this is the thing, right? They have to sign in with accounts with their real name and their real information.
Right, yeah, that's another requirement. So if they are playing online,
these accounts should be
it shows up who's who. And China, they don't have the kind of free internet that we have. I'm going to put free in air quotes because our internet is kind of under siege at the moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Chinese government, basically, they can watch and look at everything you do on the internet. So they can force this kind of thing where the kids have to register with their names or whatever. So I'm assuming they have the ability to just put an actual hard limit on this account, I guess, that's signed in using internet services for a certain amount of time. Just boom, you're done.
Mobile game sales about to go through the roof. Okay.
But I mean, the time limiting stuff seems excessive. Like, that should be up to parents, I feel like, rather than the government.
Yeah.
But I think the government's saying it has been left up to parents and it's been failing.
Still, I mean, it's their kid to fail, honestly.
But I'm just, playing what
devil's
I think
advocate.
They would say, yeah, devil's advocate. I'm not trying to call him devil, but if it's the parent, if it's their kid to fail, it's their country to uplift. Okay? Like, you take care of your peoples.
And with that, I do agree with the hard limit thing on microtransactions.
Definitely microtransactions.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, 100%.
So the hard limit they're passing is between $28 and $57 a month.
Yeah,
that user
depending
able to spend
on how
items.
old you are.
Right. Yeah. So the older you get, the more you're allowed to spend per month. So and honestly, that's just healthy. Like, you should not be spending a significant amount of money, especially if you're not an adult. And some adults even have problems with this. Like, it triggers like gambling dependencies in them. So kids definitely shouldn't have the free reign to just spend as much as they want, if they have the means to do so. Like, I don't know if they get huge allowances from parents or just using their mom and dad's credit card or something, but there's no reason why kids should be the bulk of your revenue from, a game studio.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So I don't know. there are good parts to this story, but there's also that overbearing nature of the government.
Yeah. I was like the government saying, "Hey, you can't watch TV after this time."
Right, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah, they're limiting your experience of an art form, right? What if it was music? What if it was books?
Yeah, no music after a certain time. No reading after a certain time during the day, and you can only read these specific books.
Yeah, that could definitely be the next step. I mean, China does that anyway. They don't allow
America does that.
Yep. America does that based on
in their education system.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah,
banning books and stuff. Yeah.
But in the context of video games, America, I feel like is actually pretty good at allowing free speech to reign supreme in terms of games. Yeah. Some other countries have been a bit more hesitant, like, and China, I think, is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it wasn't Russia. There was another country that was really locking down their stuff.
Is it Australia you're thinking of?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, because they have a lot
of
stringent...
EA. They hate EA right now.
Oh, for the loot boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Belgium. That
was. I thought it was Australia too.
Australia too.
Yeah, maybe it is Australia too, but it was definitely Belgium that introduced the legislation that then started trickling around.
You're right. Yeah.
Because they banned them outright.
Said we do not do that here.
You're I was gonna say Belgish.
I wasn't going for an accent. But you're Belgish.
What is the word for that? What's the adjective for
Belginium?
Oh, that doesn't sound right either.
Oh, you mean the Belge
accent.
People?
The Belge people.
He's a Belgian.
The Belginian.
Belgian.
Let's look this up.
It's probably
like
Belgian
waffle.
Yes. Oh my God. That's what it is. We're so dumb.
Belgian waffle. You heard it right here, folks. We figured it out.
Oh, brother. Okay. So on that note, we're gonna move off of this because clearly we don't know countries. But we're gonna move into our top threes. This week, we're gonna talk about the top 3 supporting characters in anime that could have been main characters.
Yeah.
I don't actually have 3 characters for this yet, so I'm going to let one of you guys go first, and maybe a third one will pop into my head.
Let Jeff go first. Like, I just thought of my last one, actually.
I could go right ahead.
Number 1. Not in any particular order, but this is the first one that's coming up. It's going to be Blackstar from Soul Eater.
Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good one.
That's a good one.
I would definitely watch a spinoff of him.
I would have too. He's just such an amazing character. His whole story with him and Tsubaki was just hit all the spots. Sometimes I found him more interesting than Maka and Soul. So
right.
He's definitely.
I agree with that a lot. Actually, list. I like Maka a lot as a main character. I think mainly her design. I think she looks really cool with her scythe and stuff. But compared to Tsubaki and Blackstar, they're actually way more entertaining to watch.
Exactly. Then the number 2 is going to be my main man, Orono Zoro. So,
I knew you were going to say that.
So, even though, and I think we're still seeing this in One Piece, where his story is still yet to come. It's like Sanji. We knew where Sanji came. Yeah, they haven't gotten to him yet. But if you notice, he does a great job. Sanji, they told Sanji's story in the beginning. You knew who he was and whatever.
I agree with that.
But then they revisited it and told you his complete backstory. This is where he was up until here.
Yeah, it's like who he is. Get backstory for all of his crew, and then certain crew members, as it goes further, they get like backstory plus.
Deeper backstory. Yeah, backstory plus.
Yeah. So I would love this. I would love to see more about Zoro, like what they did with Sanji in the last arc.
And without spoiling it, they're in Wano now, so I'm thinking that's where they're going to kind of get into his whole story of what where he came from, because we don't know anything about him besides when Luffy met him and he was a bounty hunter and this and that. So I'm interested to see kind of his story unfold, and I'm thinking he could have been the main character. No Luffy, but
he definitely fits that archetype of like strong, silent protagonist, but also kind of dumb. So like more goofy stuff can still exist around him. Like he's not overly serious.
Exactly. The next one It's from Bobo Bo Bobo Bo Bobo Bo.
No,
Oh my
you
gosh.
lying.
Next.
You a liar.
Keep it pushing, bro.
The nose
Get
hair
out of here.
could have had his. He could have been the Mason now.
Nose hair?
It's gonna be the nose hair from So actually, it's Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay. Ooh, thank God.
I feel like Hiei could have had his own. He could have been the protagonist of his own story, kind of like his redemption arc. Because he changed after meeting Yusuke and them. And he kind of
He did.
His whole side story or pretty much spinoff could have been his redemption. They know Hiei to be this dark demon who did all this bad stuff, and here comes this big bad to get revenge. He kidnaps his sister, and just I could see the whole thing unfolding. And Hiei was just so cool. I mean, come on now, like he had the best fights in the Dark Tournament, hands down. So those are my top.
I don't know if I agree so much about Hiei. I feel like he's a little one note.
He's not. He has more depth than what you think.
I mean, I know his backstory and his motivation, but still, I don't know.
Hey,
I like Hiei. I know. I of course it's your choice, but I like Hiei. He's a cool character.
You do?
I don't know if I'd watch a whole show about him. For example, Yusuke is way more interesting than Hiei in that.
Well, it's
to
kind
me,
of like
at least.
Vegeta started out very one-dimensional, but once he had Trunks and him and Bulma, and then they had the baby, whatever her face is.
Yeah.
Now there's this whole depth to his character of being a father.
Yeah, and
I would
if you would have picked Vegeta for this topic, I'd have been like, I definitely see that.
I tried not to go. I was trying to not go too mainstream. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So I was trying to go off a little bit.
Hey man, it is what it is. If it's mainstream, make it happen, fam. Like there's good things that are mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's you, right, Jeff?
That's me.
Speaking of good things that are mainstream. Mainstream.
What you got?
Bakugo from My Hero Academia.
So you think that he's...
Now, when I'm listening to this question, right, I kind of feel like would I watch? My question in my head is, would I watch a spinoff of just them throughout the same timeline, right? And yeah, I think Bakugo is so cool, and he's got so much pent up anger and explosiveness, right, which is it physically manifests in this world, but he's so smart and tactical at the same time in the midst of all this fury.
Right.
I'd love to hear more of his internal monologues and how he feels about everybody.
So you want to see his journey to be the number 2 hero?
Man, that hurts. It hurts. He's definitely like, I'm getting Vegeta vibes. You know what I mean? But
I get those vibes.
I feel like he has a lot more successes.
Yeah, he's like a prodigy.
Yeah.
So like he's definitely
Vegeta,
the favorite.
They kind of just like stepped on from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, even there's some fights they could have thrown his way because he's supposed to be like them. Yeah, they're like, nah, forget you. But yeah, I get you. Backer, he does have that tactical mind, and he surprises you with using his wit.
He's smart. Every time, like, he's always training to be better, as hard as Deku, right? And every time he shows up to a fight, he's always got something new that he didn't tell nobody because he's been trying to be the best. He's been working. So I love Bakugo. And I think that, he'd be a good protagonist in his own story. Now, I'm not super deep into this series, but again, the first person I thought about, the first question I think about, would I watch a spinoff? Same period, this protagonist is Tsukasa I practiced this too. Tsukasa Shishuo from Dr. Stone, the main antagonist.
Oh, I haven't started watching that yet.
Yeah. So basically, without giving much away, Dr. Stone, the main character in Dr. Stone, he is a super scientist, right? And he wants to rebuild the world based on science. Like, he wants to go from the Stone Age to modern age as fast as he can. And that's his whole motivation. That's his whole goal. It's pretty cool, right? But this guy, he's like, okay, I get that. I understand how important that is. Also, adults have messed up the world for the longest time. Let's build this the way we want to do it. And he's going around and really shaping this world on equal footing with brute force and tactics. And he's really outplaying the main character, Dr. Stone, on a regular basis. So I like tactical characters in general. You know what I mean? And I just like to get inside their head and see what they can push. This guy literally showed up on this scene and within seconds killed a lion and skinned it and made new clothes. Like, his explosive power plus his situational awareness is wonderful. I like him almost more than the main characters. And I love watching him.
I'm detecting a theme with you, like these explosive.
Yeah, you noticing this, right?
Characters.
The people with these crappy attitudes, right?
You're not gonna like my next one, then.
You think they can do whatever they want. And he didn't tell you that this guy goes around. These people are in stone.
I wasn't trying to spoil nothing.
Okay. Okay, I'll leave that. I don't know.
That part is. If you watch Dr. Stone, you know what he does to try and shape this new world. And is it extreme? Yes.
Yes.
But I feel like he's got legit reasons for doing it.
I think he had a traumatic childhood, so he's like taking that out on everybody.
The world has a traumatic childhood, and that's what he's trying to say. Like, we've messed it up so far. Let's do it better. But my last one is Greed from Full Metal Alchemist.
I didn't mind Greed. I thought Greed was he was a anti-hero. He wanted to protect those that were close to him. He didn't really want to do any harm to anybody else, per se, or kill humans like the other ones.
I love what he turned into when he linked up with Ling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to see more of what he does. You know what I mean?
That's a good series that has actually a lot of really interesting side characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true.
Like, if I had to pick one from there...
Scar.
I'd probably pick their tutor, their teacher, Izumi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, I want to know more about, like, her upbringing and stuff. But I love the Elric brothers. I think they're amazing characters. I don't think there's anyone in that show that would be a better main character than those two guys, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if Greed would be better. I think he'd be at least
interesting. An interesting side path. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, those are my main three from animes I watch, and there's plenty of others that I like to like a lot of people from Code Geass I definitely want to see, but I like these guys a little bit better.
True. All right, so I did throw a third one on the list thanks to stuff that you guys were talking about.
You see?
But I don't know if this really counts. I don't know if any of mine count, to be honest.
You always have some off-the-wall stuff.
So my first one is Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because he's sort of like the dual main character, but Gon is the main character, right? You start with Gon. Gon meets Killua, and then Killua is just attached to Gon, right? But honestly, you get a lot of Killua's backstory. He could have equally have been just the main character with Gon tagging along with him, and you just learn more about his family and stuff.
If they switched it around and they just honestly, you switch around a couple episodes, Killua's the main character.
Yeah, so essentially, yeah. Like and unlike a lot of these other like shonen type shows where there's a main character and then there's like the guy who's the closest to the main character, but he's never on that level. They've never done that with them. On that level. Yeah, Killua and Gon were always, and even though Killua has had all this training stuff, I kind of like that too, because Gon was like this kind of woodland guy, but that doesn't mean like he had to learn
martial arts.
Yeah, like he was still on Killua's level. Like they just come from different backgrounds, which I thought was really dope.
Huge monsters.
Yeah,
ridiculous monsters, and just smiling about it with the fishing rod, yo.
With a fishing rod as a weapon, like. Come on now. So yeah, I like Gon, but I do think Killua is kind of cooler in general.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. So that's my number one. I would have had him as a main character. My second is from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Oh, okay.
Kamina.
You just say Gurren Lagann, do you?
Oh, I would have loved to see Kamina.
Man, that when I saw what and not to spoil it, I don't know how many people. It's a really old show, but I don't know how many people have really gotten into it. But Kamina kind of comes off as the main character in that show until they kind of switch for whatever reason, and Simone takes over. And
but it takes a while for Simone to take over.
It does. Like that's what messes with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So And the effect that Kamina leaves after he's gone, like the show undoubtedly is better the way it is, but I don't know. I'm gonna just throw Kamina's name in there because I just want him to have recognition because he's a fantastic main character. He was like
excellent,
like an energy in that show that you don't see everywhere else. Like I can't think of another character that's exactly like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then like he disappears and then you're with the rest of the cast and everything kind of just harks back to Kamina.
Yeah, it really does.
For the rest of the show.
In a way, he is the main character.
Yeah, that's kind of why I felt like maybe this doesn't
I see what you're saying.
Fit, but
Simone's definitely the main character, but everything revolves around Kamina.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my third is actually Gohan from Dragon Ball.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because
you get strong and then get weaker.
But
and then
see, I don't like what they did. I don't like what they did with his character because they did kind of throw him to the side. But he was always meant to be kind of the successor to Goku, right? And then, like, I guess fan backlash didn't like him getting all the popularity, and they kind of wrote Goku back into just taking front stage. If they would have done this show, I think how maybe Akira Toriyama originally wanted to, where Gohan, like Goku died and he was maybe just a spirit or like a guide or something, and Gohan took over, and then Gohan had to raise his family, and then maybe Gohan had a son, and like maybe like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type thing where like the kids keep taking over and training and learning and getting stronger. Because you remember how Dragon Ball Z ended, right? Like with them flash forwarding way into the future, and you had the grandkids who were like Super Saiyan 1 in the tournament and stuff. I feel like that's what he wanted to do, was kind of just keep having generations, and the generations kind of taking over these new threats. But everyone just got stuck on Goku, and it kind of made the show get stale.
Yeah, because I was just upset that's what made me stop watching it so much is Vegeta never got any shine. Just no shine. I'm glad they fixed that in Dragon Ball Super more so, but like it was just like he just never got any shine, and it's just like this man can never get a win.
On the vein of that, I saw an article the other day. I didn't read it, but I was kind of scrolling through. Apparently, Piccolo's getting the power up pretty soon here. Be on the lookout for that.
That's part of the problem with that show, though, right? Is like that's
I'm not saying that like this show works because of that, but I'm just saying it's gonna be super cool to see.
Like, what about Yamcha? You getting
I think they like the fact that Yamcha's the butt of the joke now.
But they went to the tournament of power. They didn't even ask him. It's just like they took Master Roshi. They took
why would they take Master Roshi over Yamcha? Is not Yamcha stronger than Master Roshi?
Yamcha's the mechanic.
No, he's not.
Yamcha is like a mascot.
Like, that's so weird.
Master Roshi's stronger than him, which is so weird.
That's like, weird. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm just saying.
He has that evil contamination thing he does that he did against evil the evil version of Piccolo, where he sealed him inside of that.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that's Dragon Ball, right?
Yes.
True, but all I'm saying is, if they would have done the thing where Goku ages out and then his kid takes over, then the constant new power-ups would have made sense.
They would make sense because it was passed down from generation to generation.
It's like, but now the kid has learned to surpass a thing that the dad never got to, and then the other kid, like, that makes more sense than one guy going through 80 power-ups.
Essentially, Goku was a god from the get-go. He just needed to get pushed there.
And it's dumb because he's just a grunt Saiyan. Like, there's nothing in his lineage that says you are this worthy, you know? It's like,
and no other Saiyan has gotten to his level.
Right.
Like,
well, supposedly his dad was the first. It was weird the way they did it. Have you read the manga where they did the whole story of Bardock actually being the first Super Saiyan?
I've seen scans of it, but I didn't read the whole thing.
This is the thing. Yeah. I shouldn't have to read the manga for a good story. I get you.
Put that pen down. I feel threatened.
I'm getting ready for the next segment, actually.
But you know.
No, like, I hate when people say, "Oh, you got to read the books. Oh, you got to read the manga." Right? Now, I'm not saying books and mangas are bad, but I'm saying a visual representation of any story should be a good story within itself. There shouldn't have to be supplemental homework.
Yeah.
As I'm going to film school to make sure you don't have to read a book to watch my movies. Okay, watch my shows.
Yeah, that goes for anything. Like if you're gonna make a thing in a medium, let that thing stand. Even if it's complementary to another medium, like a book or a game, like let that thing stand on its own. Either retell that story in a unique way, or just do a side story that is related to the other story. Like don't make it where you can't understand what's going on unless you've done homework.
Right.
I know we got enough topic about this, but I think it does a bad job of letting anybody else get any shine besides Goku.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
If you look at some of the current anime, there's always room for other people to
step up,
kind of grow and evolve as a character, and also get their shine on. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, prime example I would say is One Punch Man. You know, even though Hitamata is the end all to end all, it's like he's absent in those scenarios, so that way other characters can put that work in.
Yeah, One Punch Man is a good example of having the godlike character around, but the other characters basically pull in their own weight in the ways they can. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just a waiting game until Saitama shows up, like it is in Dragon Ball for the most part.
Where's Goku? But, I think we got some trivia coming up. Is that what we're doing now?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is Blue's game. So I'm gonna let you take it away.
It's called Blue's Clues.
I just like that because that works. That's perfect.
That is not bad at all.
We're gonna play Blue's Clues, which is a modified.
That's funny as hell.
Modified version of 21 Questions.
You said, "Oh, I like that."
I really do. This is a modified version of 21 Questions. These guys actually have only 7 questions to ask me to get clues on which Super Smash Brothers character I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to limit it to playable characters, right? So I'm not going to ask you about any of the assist trophies. I'm not going to ask you about Master Hand. That would be like a really cheap shot, right? Only the playable characters.
Gotcha.
Okay? Now, the first round, you guys will get 7 questions.
Mm-hmm.
The second round, you get 5 questions.
Mm.
And we'll see how hard that is, and then I'll see how much I give you all in the third round.
Difficulty
and
scaling.
I also have a tiebreaker. All right? But hopefully, you just...
It won't be a tie. I'll just end this real quick.
If y'all don't get it, then,
You said it, wow.
So you guys can only ask me yes or no questions.
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is neither yes or no, I'm going to say neither. And I'll give you an example. No, I won't give you an example. I will tell you. All right. So how this is going to work as well. When you guys are going to start, I'm going to flip a coin, heads or tails, blah, blah, blah. If I answer no to a question, it's the next person's opportunity to start asking questions.
Okay.
If you guess who the character is and you're wrong, it passes on to the next person, obviously, because the answer is no, right?
Okay.
And lastly, like I said, you have 5 opportunities to ask me questions. If you guess in between those 5, that counts as one of your 5. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Jeff, last trivia game, you got to call the coin. So, Sigma, I'm going to give it to you. There's a coin toss.
Tails.
And it's heads. Boom. Bad start for Sigma. Anyway, here we go. On Blues Clues. Jeff, first question. You have 7 total.
Okay, so is it a character from a first-party Nintendo game?
A first-party Nintendo game. Yes.
Okay. Has he ever appeared in any Mario game?
Any Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna say Super Smash Bros. Is excluded.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Like
That doesn't count.
No, like any Super Mario Brothers game with Super Mario in the title or Mario in the title.
No.
Okay, good.
No, it's my go, right?
Turn. It's Sigma's turn.
Because you got a
no.
No.
We go back and forth. Okay.
Yeah, if you get no's, you go back and forth.
Okay.
Okay. My first question. He's not in a... Is the character a male?
Yes. Real quick, I just wanted to clarify on Jeff's first one. He said if it was a first-party Nintendo game, you're meaning that it came out like solely from Nintendo, right?
Like a Nintendo-owned character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With that.
Okay, so it's a guy owned by Nintendo, not in any Mario games. Does this character use a sword?
No. Jeff, your turn.
Let's just go.
You have 5 questions left.
Is this character round?
Round? No.
Okay.
Don't stop calling my big boys, bro. Sigma, what you got?
Is the character human?
Yes.
How many questions do I have?
You have 4 questions left. Now, you can make a guess right now and end this round if you're right. But if you're wrong, it passes on to Jeff.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough info to make a good guess.
Okay.
He said he is a human. Right?
Yes, he is a human.
Does this character wear... Does this character wear... Okay, I have an idea. Does this character box?
Yes.
Is it Little Mac?
It is Little Mac. Congratulations. You forgot the first round.
Nice.
All right. That went pretty smooth. Okay. So that was only 4 questions that you got it in.
Sweet.
Right? Yeah.
I was using some of Jeff's yeses, though. So
what's that?
I was using some of Jeff's info, too.
And that's the whole game. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, don't use my info.
Too late. I got it. I got all that. It's mine
So
now.
because Sigma won this round, Jeff gets to start the next round.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how we're going to do it. All right. So now you guys only have 5 questions.
Okay.
Are you ready, Jeff?
I'm ready.
Are you really ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is the character a first-party character from Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay. Has the character appeared in any Mario games?
No.
I don't want to use the same questions.
Hey,
just helped me
whatever.
cut,
But
those 2 questions helped me cut
you're right. You're right. Those are really good questions.
Just like
Does this character wear a hat?
No.
No. Damn. All right.
is this character this character is not human, correct?
Wait, I think you got to re-ask that.
I don't know if you
Is this
care
character
or-
an animal?
Is this character human?
An animal.
Is
Oh,
it
an
an animal?
No.
No, it's not an animal.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. That's a little tricky. Because are some of the cast actual animals or?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's just get this distinction. Are we gonna call the people who are like humans human, and then the things that are not human, they're all animals?
No.
Okay,
Because
so
they're not
all right. I'm fine. If that's how you're gonna do it, then that's the breakdown. Fine. Because I won't fall into that trap of just thinking everything else is an animal. Then. Okay, so then
You got 4 questions left.
I have 4 left. Okay.
Jeff, you got 2.
It's not an animal. Is this... Is this character royalty?
No.
Okay.
Jeff, you got 2 questions left.
Oh, so they carried over from the last one?
No, you only have 5 this round.
Yeah, we started with 5 this go round.
Oh, because I went 2 in a row. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because you got 1 right.
Does this character use a sword?
No. Sigma, your turn. You got 3 questions left. I might have to give y'all extra questions on this one.
Are we keeping track of like the answers that we did get yeses on? Like they don't wear a hat. They're not an animal.
They're a first party.
They're first party.
They were part of the Mario. They were in a Mario game. You said?
No, they were not.
They were not in a Mario game.
Okay. They don't use a sword.
They don't use a sword.
That's correct.
And they're not royalty.
That's correct.
Dang.
So not being an animal.
It's the whole DK series off.
And do Pokemon count as animals?
That's a good question. And for this game, I'm going to say Pokemon are animals.
Okay, Pokemon are animals. Okay.
So that cuts the whole Pokemon
no
series
Pokemon
out.
then.
There you go. I'll help you all out with that one.
Okay.
We've already done Little Mac. No sword, so there's no Zelda or no Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, that also
Yoshi.
does away with the royalty because they're not.
Yeah.
Yoshi has
A lot of the
been in
cast is
Mario
actually
games.
royalty. Now that I think about that question,
What's that?
a lot of the
And
cast
he
is
doesn't
actually
wear-
royalty.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear a hat, right?
No.
So that covers Wario.
Okay.
There's no Wario.
Oh man. Okay.
Actually, I'm not going to cheat. I just need to look at the roster real quick.
that sounds like cheating.
Wait, I got to look at the roster? That wasn't
No,
established?
Oh man.
Phil.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. That you're just looking at all the
Hey,
cast.
no,
you pulled up
looking
on your
at them.
laptop.
Come on now. This,
I don't think that's
this
fair.
is going off your knowledge.
Oh man.
It's not an open
Okay.
test.
Okay.
Is this character? But he said he doesn't wear a hat, so it can't be Captain Falcon, unless you're not counting his helmet as a hat.
It's
It's a headwear, so
I
kind
can't
of.
tell you. I can't tell you.
Oh boy. Oh, did I ask this question? Is it a woman?
The answer to that would be yes and no.
Okay. So is it my go? Because it's a yes and
No,
no?
I'm gonna give Sigma another because he's got a yes in there too.
Does that count as one of my questions then?
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's
Yeah.
So this character is androgynous.
Can he pass?
This is breaking my brain.
If
All right,
you want to pass the Sigma, go ahead.
No, I don't know. How many questions do I have left?
You have
One.
2 questions left.
2 questions left. Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Okay.
Is this character Kirby?
No.
No. Okay.
I believe Kirby's a he, right?
That's what I would think. But then
Yeah.
when
Okay.
you think about an androgynous character, that's the most androgynous character I can think of right now.
Okay.
Where's Jeff at? I hope you're not looking at the roster.
No, I'm
You
not
alright,
looking
Bob?
at the roster.
Jeff, you have one question, and then
I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Sigma, you have one
Wait.
question.
Pass. Wait.
No,
Does that
you're
mean I get
pass.
my? No, but my question is this: passing, does that entail me losing my question?
No,
I would assume
My turn.
so.
Okay.
Could we
pass
just
my
pass
turn.
forever?
No, if you pass,
Yeah, if you pass, I
both
would assume
pass,
you lose the
then
question.
y'all lost the round.
Because how would he? Because if he passed for this question,
Yeah.
and he has how many questions? 2.
He has one question
That's
left.
one
You
question.
both have one.
We both have one
left.
question. So if he passes and then I pass, why would we
If
both
you
lose?
both pass, the round is done, and we move on to the next one.
All right. So are you actually passing then, Jeff?
Yeah, I passed to you.
Damn it.
Are you passing it back or something?
If you pass,
Like,
back,
if,
the round
yeah,
is
if I
done.
pass back, we both lose.
Oh,
so
okay.
you're just giving
So
me
you
the
might as
only
well
shot at
guess.
possibly winning. So it's a better chance that you just guess versus.
Well, no. This is the thing. No, because if you get it wrong, Sigma, if you get a no, right?
Mhm.
Then that means Jeff gets another question.
But he passed his question. Like that's what's confusing
Initially.
me.
But then there's more information out
But then
there.
if I pass, that's like
But then
he
it
gets an
doesn't
advantage that
pass.
I don't get then.
Because we can't pass it back and forth. So it's like if there's a double
if he passed and then I pass, then it's like I'm saying, all right, so that Jeff can't win at all. I'm just gonna pass.
It was his choice to pass first. He really threw the ball in your court. You run this game right now.
So I feel like if that's the case, then he should forfeit his question, and then it's up to me on whether or not I win or lose.
Maybe.
Okay, like because if you answer, I feel like that gives you the best possibility.
If we both get it wrong, then that means
we both lose.
Nobody wins, right? All right, I'm gonna go with Ice Climbers.
Excellent. That's the one.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, but wait, the hood's not a hat, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
And you're the one who said androgynous, not me.
That helped me. The whole not being a guy, not being a girl. I'm like, wait, there was only one character that fit that was Kirby. Everybody else. So the only other logical one was there's one guy and there's one girl. So it's one character. So.
Right. Matter of fact, now I think about it, Sheik is sort of androgynous, but we know that's Zelda. So that's why I didn't want to go that way.
We said no royalty, so that
yeah. Plus she's royal. Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
Yeah, good pull. I was not thinking about the Ice Climbers
throughout that round. I'm not gonna lie, but let's move on to our next round. Do you guys think 5 questions was not enough?
It's definitely. I mean, he got it at least, but so I think 5 still works. Because we got the first one in less than 5 anyway, so you might as well
got the last one in 4. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stick with 5. Next round. So you guys are tied 1-1. Next round. So I start. Sigma, you get to start off. Okay. Let's do it to it.
Is this character a woman?
No.
There's some bias in here.
Dang.
No girls allowed.
I had a woman in the last one.
Sort of, yeah.
I mean, she's a full woman.
She's a full woman. All she gotta do is put on her brother's coat.
It's not a woman. Has this character appeared in any games on the Switch besides Smash Brothers?
Oh man, I don't think so. I need to look it up real quick on the Switch. You said, right?
Yes.
I don't think so.
That'll help cut down like half the roster as well. That means remakes like Tropical. Didn't they remake that Donkey Kong game?
Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze for Switch.
That's on Switch.
Okay. I'm just trying to look in your glasses to see what you're looking up.
You almost got it too. You almost got it too. Okay, yeah, this character has been on a Switch game.
Yes.
Okay, this character is in
That's
a Switch
not
game.
Super Smash.
That's like half the roster too.
That was a really good question, actually.
Thank you.
Let me close this window.
Thank you.
Before I put my glasses on. All right, here we go.
All right, you got another question.
Oh yeah, my bad.
You're just so happy off that win.
Yeah, I was so happy. I was just like, let me just take that. So we know it's a man. You know he's been in a Switch game. Is this a human man? A human?
No.
A human.
A human.
No. What's your official question? What's your official question? What's your official question that I'm saying no to? Because you said
is he a human? Is he a human?
No.
No, it's not a human. Okay. Okay, so the fact that he had to check whether or not this character was in a Switch game, I feel like that tells me a little bit, because there are certain characters that he would know for sure were in a Switch game. Yep. Like Bowser and such, and Mario's and all those guys.
So we know it's nobody from the Mario series.
Yeah, so it's not probably one of the more popular characters. It's probably one of the more off-branded ones. Okay, is this one of the DLC fighters?
No.
Damn.
So he's not a human, right?
No.
Is that one of the questions was asked before?
No, I'm saying.
No, he's reminding.
Okay, yeah. I'm just double checking. I don't want to just answer free questions. You know what I'm saying?
Does he have fur?
No.
Okay.
Sigma.
Not a human either.
Hmm.
Is it Pac-Man?
No.
Damn.
Good guess. Good guess.
Mm.
Jeff, your turn.
Is it Kirby?
No. All right, Sigma, your turn. You got 2 more guesses, or you have 2 more questions. Jeff, you have 1 more question.
Mm.
I don't think I've gotten a yes on any of the questions I've asked so far.
You have not. But it's helped, you know.
Yeah, it's still narrowing stuff down. It's not a human. Is this a Pokemon?
No.
And I'm gonna pass.
All right, take a question for that.
Wait. Does that take a question? I'll answer if it takes a question.
It has to take a question. Like, it's not fair unless it takes your question.
No, I think you should get a pass per round. But
No, because then you can just freeze out Sigma.
That's the whole point of the
Come on now. What is it? Let's go.
Wait, do I get a question and a guess?
Yes.
Okay, so you do get a question and a guess. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After all your questions are done, you get 1 final guess.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right.
Is this a protagonist or antagonist?
You have to only ask me yes or no questions.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So is it a protagonist?
A protagonist is someone is the main character, the main driving force of the story.
Yes.
Defined as that, the answer is no.
Okay. Is it King K. Rool?
Yes. Holy crap.
My man. Woo!
But hold on a second. Because didn't he get... Wait, no. You answered no to his previous question?
He was not a protagonist.
You should have passed it to Sigma.
No, because
not passed, but like.
But yeah, like
it was
he
Sigma.
guessed right after he got a no.
Yeah.
Like, it was my go.
Because I only had one question. So
But I still had one question.
Yeah, but he still gets information from that no.
Oh, I didn't know. You told me you had a question and then you can guess. So I went in that order. I didn't know there was a question and then you had to pass and then go.
All right.
Now let's be real, Casey. Would you have guessed that?
I could have thought about it.
Oh, please.
Because King K. Rool wasn't in my head, but I could have processed the information. Because that's why you asked the question, because you were thinking about K. Rool, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I was. So how about we just call that one Even Stevens?
We'll call that one Even Stevens. We have plenty of people to choose from on this roster.
So,
all right.
in the future, on your last question, it still goes to that next person.
Yeah,
like, they get a no.
If it's a no.
Yeah, if you get a no,
And
then
then
it moves. If you would have got a yes, then you could have guessed again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should have asked, was it an antagonist? Then if it goes to him and he gets a no, then I can then
Right.
guess. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Absolutely. Okay, good job, guys. I appreciate you bearing with me. This is our first time doing Blue's Clues.
Workshopping.
I think it's working. Okay. Next round.
Casey's like, wait.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, he got a no. And then
Oh, yes, you're right. But good job on that.
But no, that was a good deduction.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Sigma. You started this last round, right? And because we call this Even Stevens, I'm gonna kick it back to Jeff to start this next round.
Same question.
It's all right.
This character had a game on the Switch. Appeared in a game on the Switch.
I don't. Oh crap. Now I know what questions to look for ahead of time, but I don't think so.
Just the fact that you're not sure gives a lot of information.
Yeah, it does. Because there's certain characters you would know right off the bat.
Right, yeah.
Actually, I think the answer is yes.
Good.
All right, so you got another question, Jeff.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was a. Okay, so it's on the Switch. Is this a human?
Yes.
Okay.
Radio silence.
So it's not.
Yeah, no, right? We're
not
still
any
here,
Mario
everybody. Your
characters.
video did not pause. Your podcast did not cut out.
It's not any of the Mario characters. It's not Link or Zelda. It's definitely not Kirby or
Are you trying to gauge my reaction to you saying all these?
No, I just know these are people I know for sure that aren't.
Yeah, he's
Who I
running
know
through the
games.
process.
Is it Pit?
Is it Pit? No.
Okay.
Sigma, go ahead.
Okay. Is this a DLC fighter?
Is this a DLC fighter? No.
Damn.
Does this character use a sword?
Yes.
How many questions did Jeff have left? Like one?
Jeff has one question left.
So I can't pass, right?
If
That would
you
take a
pass,
question?
you'll take your question away, and then the next time it goes over to you, you have to
You
guess.
have to guess a character, and then
Okay.
you're done.
But I can guess, and that would be my question spot, and I still get another guess, right?
That's correct.
Is it Ike?
No.
Okay.
Okay. You said he doesn't have a sword.
He does have a sword.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, he does have a sword. Has been on a Switch game.
Mm-hmm.
It is on a Switch game.
He's on a Switch game. Okay. Is this character royal?
No. No.
Is it Shulk?
No. That was one of them I was gonna put in rotation, but no, it's not. It's not Shulk. So Jeff is officially out of this round. Let's see if Sigma can get the
How many
point.
questions I got left?
You have 3 questions. and
God
they get-
dang.
Because you kept getting
Yeah.
yeses.
Yeah, you got a lot.
I gotta get some nose in there. Damn.
Damn. Okay. I got 3 questions. Okay. Is this? We didn't do the gender question yet.
No, you didn't, and y'all kept saying he. And I was like, okay.
So I feel like that's information that.
Wait, that counts as a question.
No, it's not.
Because he
Yes.
basically gave you an answer.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. He was like,
Nah.
and I was like, y'all kept. Yeah,
He
that
said-
is.
I
Kinda
feel like
basically answered your question.
I feel like he did, but it was unintentional, and I'm gonna use it anyway.
No, that's not. That's not
Okay,
fair.
no, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
that's cheating.
Go ahead.
Okay. Does this character wear headgear of any kind? Like hat, helmet, something on the head?
Something on the head. Sometimes.
What, what am I supposed to do with that? Jeff guessed
I'll say
Kirby earlier, right?
Depends on the skin. Depends on the skin. I'll give you that.
Depends on the skin.
So that's why it's yes and no.
I have 2 questions left.
Yes.
Is this character human?
Yes.
On the skin. Change hats.
You have 1 question left and a guess.
Dang.
Or 2
It's
guesses.
not a DLC fighter.
Nope. Jeff, you know who it is?
It's
Or you just
not,
hyped?
It's not Little Mac, because we
I
had
know.
Little Mac already. Because I know he has the hoodie outfit. So that would be something on his head. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, who sometimes wears stuff on their head?
I know who it is too. It's so.
Because it's not a DLC fighter, so it's not Hero who goes through different character things. You said they have been in a Switch game, right?
Yep.
Is this a Mushroom Kingdom related character?
No.
Uh-oh, you got a guess left. That's it.
Damn!
Jeff, text me who you think it is.
And it's so crazy. So crazy. So cray-cray, but not in a good way.
Oh, he has a sword. But then if it was Link, you would know that he was on a Switch. You wouldn't have had to guess. You wouldn't have to look that up. Right?
That's right.
I'm gonna say it's Link, adult Link.
What? No, bro.
No?
It's Corrin.
No.
Corrin.
Corrin?
Yeah.
Because you can switch between the girl and the guy, and she has a headband on her head when you switch to the girl.
Yep.
Wait, was Corrin in a Switch game?
Yeah, I had to look that up. And they were in this game called Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah, that was like
the Muso. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like,
oh man, all right, yeah.
Sure. I had to look that one up.
Yeah,
and that's why when you guys said he, I was like, I never said it was he. You know, you didn't ask the gender question. That's what I said.
Right.
And you guys kept assuming it was a dude.
That was a good one. I was on the
matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, there's multiple characters that mess up the gender question.
Yeah, there is.
Damn.
Yeah, so no one got that one. We're still tied 1-1. I feel like I could do this for a while. This is pretty fun.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so I'm gonna go with this one last question. Hopefully, you guys will get this one. Give me a second. I had a couple options, but the way you guys are asking questions, I need to know a little bit more right off the top of my head. So I'm gonna go with this one right here. Yep. Okay. Who started that last round? I think Jeff started that last round.
Jeff did.
Mm-hmm.
Sigma, kick it off.
All right, I'm gonna go right off the top. Is it a woman?
Yes.
Okay, we have a definitive gender this time.
Yeah, you're trying to make me sound misogynistic at first.
Is she royalty?
Is it a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that narrows things down quite a bit.
That's 2 questions.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, keep it track.
Okay.
Ask the other one, the one you're thinking of right now.
No, I'm trying to phrase it in a way that I can get a yes, so that I don't give it to you.
And that's the whole thing, you know.
Okay. Is this a non-Fire Emblem character?
Yes.
Okay.
That cuts out a lot.
Yeah. All them princesses and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh man, I'm trying real hard not to make this a 50-50.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
So the yeses he got were
It's a woman,
female,
royalty.
He said
royalty, woman, and a non-Fire Emblem character. Okay.
female and woman are not exactly the same.
Fair.
And she is royalty.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this crap? Because some of these questions are literally just yes, like for both, and it doesn't give me any more information.
You got 2 questions left.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You know what?
Guys, they are concentrated.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do.
Concentrating so hard right now. Sigma, what's the question, bro?
The question is. The question is.
Yeah. That's a terrible question.
Okay. Man. Okay.
You might
is
have
is this character okay?
Okay, come on.
Does this character wear pants?
No.
Now all this pressure's on Jeff.
That's 5 questions. How many questions does he have left? Like one,
He's
right?
got one question left.
Yeah, I should have one question left.
Okay. Does
Come on,
this
Jeff, what you got?
character?
You see him looking at his Switch like
He's
this is
looking at
cheating.
I was playing. My bad.
This is cheating.
Does this character have? Does this character have blonde hair?
Typically, no.
Wait.
No,
typically
no, they don't. They don't. No.
Okay, your turn, Casey. I gave you a question that couldn't possibly help you.
You think so? Is this Zelda?
I know.
No.
No,
she has blonde hair.
Zelda's a
Zelda
brunette.
has blonde hair.
Oh, you know what?
Her?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Zelda in the game. Her is not blonde.
Okay, it's not Zelda. I'll tell you that.
All right.
So that's your question. You can still get a guess though. You want to use that guess now?
Yeah, I gotta know on my question, so it's your go.
You try.
Learn the rules.
Trying to help. So I got a few questions.
Man, I really thought it was.
Is
one
this
or two
character from the
options.
Mushroom Kingdom?
Yes.
I have to be very careful.
I'm really surprised y'all haven't gotten it yet.
Oh boy.
Sigma, if you figure it out, text me.
I mean, I still have a guess left.
I have to try to word it so I can
that's
get a
right.
yes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Come on now. Get this question out. I'm gonna start putting time limits on y'all. And it's gonna take out your question.
He over here doing math.
I know, right?
Gotta think. Gotta be wise. Gotta be wise.
Solve for X. It's not Zelda. That's Jeff hyping himself up for y'all who's listening.
Because there's only 2 answers, and if I get one right, obviously he still gets to guess.
Pretty much.
So I want to make sure. Yeah. So.
Okay.
That's what took me so long, because I thought it was 2 possible things, and clearly I was wrong then.
I don't see who else it could be.
Well, you know the answer though, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking.
I mean, is it Peach?
No,
Yeah,
You
because
said
that's
from
the.
Mushroom Kingdom.
but she's blonde.
Yeah, she's blonde.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Casey.
All right, my guess is Wendy O'Koopa.
No.
No,
Is she royalty?
she's Bowser's kid.
Okay.
King Koopa?
Is it Daisy?
Yes.
Okay,
Aw,
thank you.
Bro, how did y'all?
how does that? I mean, she's an Echo Fighter. I wasn't.
And the
All
thing
right.
is,
Well, because-
too, right?
I get it, but still.
Y'all said
forgot
woman. It
I
could
forgot
be-
about the blonde question.
And
But I
y'all
knew
said
it was either
woman,
Daisy
so
or
it could
Peach.
be Wendy.
Well, we didn't say human woman, did we? Did we say that it was a human?
That's why I said there's a difference between human and female.
Oh, okay.
I said that earlier to make sure y'all got that
Oh,
distinction.
woman in female, yeah.
All right, so that one was a train wreck.
I get that. Like after a while, I was like, okay, it can only be Peach or
Daisy.
See,
Yeah.
in
I
my
forgot
head,
about
I'm
the
thinking.
blonde
I'm not
question.
thinking of the Echo version. I'm thinking of Peach or Zelda. So I eliminated. Well, I was trying to eliminate. I thought Jeff eliminated Peach by saying, "Is she blonde?" So I went Zelda. I wasn't thinking
about-
Peach's twin sister.
I mean, she's a whole nother character.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
for me,
fair.
it was
It's fair.
between
I get
Daisy and Peach. I was trying to think of how to eliminate them, but I forgot I already eliminated them by the blonde question.
All
So
right.
yeah, Jeff wins 2-1. Do you guys want to shot at? Do you guys want to give Sigma a shot at redemption?
I don't know how long we've been going. You guys.
I don't know.
got
We've
time
been
for
going for a minute, y'all.
Yeah, I feel like we may need to
Maybe
end the
we'll bring it back
podcast at
another
this
week.
point.
We'll bring it back another.
We'll bring it back another
Yeah, this was definitely
Yeah.
fun. We should definitely bring this one back.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap things
Jeff-
up for this week. We're gonna do our sign-offs. Jeff, where can people find you?
You can find me on Superman Jeff 12 Plays on Facebook, and you can find me on Superman Jeff 12 on Mixer. You You can also find us here as always. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you get notified when we post new content. Okay.
Thank you. Where can people find you, Blue?
It's your boy Blue Bones BLUB0NES. You already know me. You can find me on Mixer, mixer.com/BLUB0NESXB. You already know Wakanda Forever. All right. You also catch me on Facebook, Play with Blue Bones, and I've been hitting up Twitter like crazy as Blue Bones. Just kind of like a live thing that's happening right now. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Grand Finals in Madrid is going on, and Sonic Fox unfortunately got knocked out of the winners bracket, but I think he's coming back right now. Him and Goichi are supposed to be head to head, and I'm recorded, kind of watching my Twitter feed too, so definitely check out those videos. There's had some amazing fights I was watching right before we recorded this.
Cool.
But I was live tweeting about it. Check out the YouTube. And check out our streams. We're doing some stuff throughout the week that is just entertaining and wonderful. We played Secret Neighbor last week for our Free For All Fridays, which was a ton of fun. It was hilarious. We were graced with Jeff's presence this Friday, and that was always fun. So yeah, make sure you guys click that follow button, those subscribe buttons, because it's those hearts, all the fun stuff that we love digitally. We feel the love physically.
Digital love.
Yeah,
that's gonna be my new R&B song.
Ooh, that's
digital
terrible.
Digital love.
I don't think I want to hear an R&B album.
Sigma, where can they find you?
Oh man, you can find me on pretty much all social media at SigmaGears9. You can find me on Facebook at Sigma and Son. You can find me on Escapist YouTube channel by my real name. Just go search for the 3-minute reviews that I'm doing on there. You'll get that information. Like these guys said before, definitely check our YouTube. Email us at BBETGaming@gmail.com. Send in questions, send in topics, send in ideas for game quiz shows, things that you want us to try out and stuff. Our DMs are open, so slide right in with appropriate stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's gonna do it for episode 24 of the BBET GamesCast. Thank you everyone for listening. Thanks Jeff. Thanks Blue. That's gonna do it. Peace.
Try to get rid of me, but I am the epitome of acidity. Pockets fatter than every city beat. I had a dream and I seen just what I'm finna be. The shit is obscene. I'm on the scene and